Okay, listen, I have to talk about this. I usually don't care about these kind of topics, but Tekashi 6ix9ine is somebody who I've always said is an industry plant, and he's being controlled by outside forces, meaning there are people, there are investors that have money behind this individual who is a caricature. He is a caricature of, basically appropriating hip hop black culture. And his investors know that. His investors, the people behind him that are backing him, financing him, right? They know and understand that. Right? They know and understand that. So there's a lot of money involved when it comes to this guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine. And I've said that since day one. I've compared him to a 90s hip hop group that was basically constructed just like 6ix9ine was, young black teenagers. Google young black teenagers. A hip hop group full of white boys. All right. That's who I compared him to. But anyway, I want to talk about 6ix9ine, right? Trolling to another level. And he is trolling, a very, very skilled troller. Beefing with Chicago rappers. And, Chicago, of course, is the dominant white society that loves to paint the pictures. What about Chicago, black on black violence and stuff like that? When we all know that, Chicago itself has many reasons as to why it is the way it is, right? Due to white supremacy and the fact that there is a economical deprivation when it comes to areas populated by black people, causing infighting and killing from one another. They're talking about the what, but not the why. Why is there so much violence in Chicago? And I've always talked about this in previous videos, but anyway, Tekashi 6ix9ine is trolling the hell out of Chicago, dissing rappers, dissing the city. And then just yesterday, I believe he actually landed in Chicago safely after, beefing with Chicago rappers like Reese, Chief Keef, saying F Chicago this, F rappers that. And, of course, rightfully so, the rappers in Chicago are in their feelings and, have a problem with 6ix9ine. They definitely want to, make this dude disappear. Right? But after all that, 6ix9ine was able to land. He went to Chicago and landed safely in Chicago. And here's why that happened. And people are talking about, this has nothing to do with the fact that he supposedly has cops, undercover police officers, aka suspected race soldiers or mercenaries with him. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. It's the fact that it's very simple. These Chicago rappers don't have any backing. Right? They don't have any backing of any sort. No one of any substantial power or anyone that, has any kind of influence within the city is backing these Chicago rappers financially. Right? So 6ix9ine was able to touch down safely in Chicago and ride around, supposedly in cops, whatever the case may be. That has nothing to do with it. Right? He was able to land safely in Chicago because he has backing. He has investors. So his investors are able to call up the right people, call up security, call up whatever the case may be to have him protected. And still go to the city and shit on the city and the local rappers there. Right? And it shows, he does, and of course, his trolling game is on another level. He's able to go to the city and supposedly feed the homeless. We all know it's just for the gram, just for cameras. It's just for social media. It's not genuine. All of this stuff about giving back to, to the less fortunate in Chicago. It's all for social media. It's all for games. It's all for cameras. This is not genuine at all. But I will say this is a brilliant move because it exposes the Chicago rappers as not doing that on social media. Right? And the fact that an outsider came to your city to do that on the camera, right? It exposes these Chicago rappers. That's the whole point of what Tekashi and his team were able to do. And they did it brilliantly. I just have to give it up. This was a brilliant move by 6ix9ine to do this. Even though, again, he's all trolling, it's not genuine, but he's doing this because this is an illustration of, hey, I'm not from your city. I'm giving back to the less fortunate. You're not doing this on your social media at all. You're doing the opposite, right? So I thought that was brilliant. But again, after disrespecting the city, beefing with rappers, he's able to land in the city safely. When you have somebody backing you, or when you have people around you that have any kind of influence or credibility, he would not be able to land in the city. He would be blacklisted, right? And I have to go back to Trick from Detroit. You know, Trick has some issues with a couple rappers from Miami, Trick Daddy and Rick Ross. Right? Trick basically said, listen, you guys are not allowed to fly in my city. You guys can't even touch down in my city. So he enlisted a no-fly zone for rappers like Trick Daddy and Rick Ross. And they're still on that list. They're not allowed to perform or even touch down in that city at all. He basically said in his words, what does that do for the city of Detroit? So he allows certain individuals, certain rappers, certain entertainers to land in his city, and others are banned because he has power and influence in that city. Now, what Tekashi 6ix9ine did, he exposed the fact that these rappers in Chicago don't have any power or influence because they can't do that. They don't have law enforcement on their payroll. Definitely don't have the airport security or airport at all on their payroll. So they can't prevent anybody that disrespects their city from landing in their city and having banned. They can't do that. They have to go foot patrol. And I saw a video earlier that was posted yesterday on 6ix9ine's Instagram page, but it's deleted. It showed some local, I guess, rappers in Chicago looking for 6ix9ine. And they actually went to a kind of like a Skid Row in Chicago where all the homeless were sleeping there. They were sleeping under a bridge or whatever. And they were asking, have you seen 6ix9ine? Foot patrol. I thought that was silly. I thought that was very silly. But yeah, that video got deleted for whatever reason. But again, it shows you that when you are being backed or have some kind of influence within the hip hop landscape, such as a Jay Prince who backs Drake, who was able to call off the biggest beef one of the biggest beefs in hip hop history, to go any further, that lets you know that your financier, your financee, has influence and power to do things like that. And what 6ix9ine did was able to expose these rappers that are from Chicago who he disrespected the city, landing in the city. It doesn't matter what time. You know, I see the comments talking about, oh, it's funny because, you know, he landed in the city. They said he wouldn't come to Chicago after he disrespected the hell out of the city. He landed in Chicago. They were talking about, oh, well, he's not going to get out the airport. He was able to drive around again, whether he had security with him or undercover cops with him or not. He was able to drive around. Then they said, I bet he won't come to the hood. He went to this, I never heard of this place, but, you guys let me know. O Block, I guess, is one of the most dangerous parts in Chicago. He went to O Block. Now they're talking about, what time did he go? It's birds chirping outside. Oh, he has his cops. Again, that's supposed to be prevented. If your city is being disrespected, he's supposed to be on a no-fly zone ban list. He's not even supposed to land in the city. That lets you know that the rappers in Chicago don't have that kind of pull or influence to do that. Right? You're from Chicago. You're supposed to be like, listen, this dude Tekashi disrespected my city. I'm gonna call up these security people. I'm gonna call up the cops. I'm gonna call up the airport, making sure he don't land in the city. Don't get nobody to parade him around. He's supposed to be banned from the city, and he's not. And again, that lets you know that the people behind 6ix9ine, right, who invested in this guy, have a lot of money involved in him, right, and they have influence and they have some sort of power to allow this to happen. And these Chicago rappers do not. They can't do nothing about it but complain and say, oh, he got the ops with him. Oh, what time did he come down to the O Block? He's supposed to be there at 9 o'clock. When did he take the picture? You're supposed to prevent that from happening, family. You're supposed to prevent that from happening. He wasn't supposed to be landing in Chicago. Right? Just like how Trick was able to make sure that rappers like Rick Ross and Trick Daddy and other rappers that are on his no-fly zone list can't land in the city and make money. That's what you're supposed to do in your city in Chicago. And that's not happening. So I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was, very interesting how, again, 6ix9ine is able to troll these rappers from Chicago. And like I said in my previous video, I even said it that, he's beefing with Chicago rappers. And I said, nothing's going to happen. And I was right. Nothing did happen. Absolutely nothing happened. Nothing happened. Because again, this guy has backing he has financial backing of people with influence and power to allow this to happen. Right? Now, it's obvious he's being backed. It's obvious that he has investors in this guy's career. And it's obvious that the Chicago rappers do not. They don't have anybody backing them at all. The drill scene, music scene is way too risky. Probably why they don't have anybody, backing them. It could be that, or it could be the fact that, the investors just don't see any kind of monetary gain taking the risk on these Chicago rappers. It could be that as well. But who knows? But they don't have, the point is they don't have any backing to protect them from things like this. Right? They don't have any financial backing at all with anybody of power or influence. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that, family. Leave your comments down below about this guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Here's the thing about Tekashi. I don't care about his music. I've heard that one song for like 10-50 seconds. His particular reign, I guess his popularity will last as long as his financial backings will last. So if they see that Tekashi, right, will be in the hip hop industry in the long run, they're going to continue to invest in him and make sure he puts out content, make sure he continues to market, troll, and stuff like that. So it really depends on how much money his financiers or financees are able to continue to back him, right? So it is what it is, family. This guy is all over social media and continues to be headliners, and it shows you. It shows you that he's protected by investors, and the people who are not protected by investors shows you they're powerless, right? So anyway, those are my thoughts on that, family. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on social media at GMOGMediaTV. All links are down below in the description. Also subscribe to my other YouTube channel, GMOG Sports TV. Till next time, family, Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist, signing out.